In a small, serene village nestled between lush green hills, there lived a man named Harish. He was known far and wide for his wealth, charm, and apparent generosity. The villagers admired him, for he always wore the mask of kindness and humility, presenting himself as the ideal citizen. But beneath this mask lay a man driven by ambition, deceit, and the need to maintain his image at all costs. Harish owned the largest store in the village, selling everything from grains to silk. He would often host grand feasts for the villagers, showering them with gifts and pleasantries. To everyone, he seemed like a saint, always willing to help. Yet the truth was different. The grain he sold was often mixed with stones. The silk was not as pure as he claimed, and the gifts were often mere bribes to ensure his image remained untarnished. One day, a wise old sage named Vidyananda arrived in the village. He had a reputation for seeing through lies and exposing the truth. The villagers, curious and excited, gathered around him, eager to hear his teachings. Harish too was intrigued but also wary. What if this sage reveals my secrets? He thought. To protect his reputation, he invited the sage to his home and treated him with the utmost respect. Harish ensured the sage had the best food, the softest bed, and the finest hospitality. The sage, however, was observant. He noticed the nervous glances of Harish's servants, the subtle whispers in the marketplace, and the slightly strained smiles of the villagers when they spoke of their so-called generous merchant. One evening, as they sat in Harish's grand hall, the sage spoke. Harish, you are a man of great wealth and influence, but tell me, who are you when no one is watching? Harish laughed nervously. Why, sage, I am the same man you see before you, kind, generous, and honest. The sage smiled knowingly. Then you won't mind a small challenge. Harish hesitated, but didn't want to appear weak. Of course not, sage. What is your challenge? The sage handed Harish a mirror. This is no ordinary mirror. It reflects not the face, but the soul. Stand before it at sunrise tomorrow, alone, and tell me what you see. Harish accepted the challenge, though unease crept into his heart. At sunrise, Harish stood before the mirror in his private chamber. As he gazed into it, his confident smile faded. Instead of his usual polished image, the mirror reflected a man with a hollow heart, surrounded by shadows of deceit and greed. The gifts he had given turned to chains binding the villagers, and the wealth he had amassed turned into a weight crushing his soul. Harish stumbled back, sweat pouring down his face. He realized the mirror revealed his true self, stripped of the lies he had woven to maintain his image. When he returned to the sage, his face was pale. What magic is this? He demanded. The sage shook his head. No magic, Harish. The mirror only shows what is already there. You have lived a life of pretense, hiding behind a mask. But masks cannot hide the truth forever. Harish was silent for days, his heart heavy with shame. He began to see the pain his actions had caused. The farmers who struggled because of his adulterated grain, the weavers who suffered because of his deceitful trade, and the villagers who trusted him but were betrayed. Determined to change, Harish made a public confession. He admitted to his wrongdoings, returned the money he had unfairly taken, and worked tirelessly to make amends. He replaced the bad grain with fresh stock, sold pure silk at fair prices, and started helping the needy without expecting anything in return. The villagers were shocked, but gradually came to respect Harish even more. Not for his wealth or charm, but for his courage to face the truth and change. Before leaving the village, the sage spoke to the villagers. True greatness lies not in how others perceive you, but in the honesty of your heart. A fake smile, a false act of kindness, these are but temporary. But a genuine heart, that lasts forever. He turned to Harish. You have learned a valuable lesson, my friend. Never forget it. The weight of lies may seem light at first, but over time, it becomes unbearable. Truth, though heavy, frees the soul. Harish nodded, tears in his eyes. Thank you, Sage. You have shown me the path to true peace. From that day onward, Harish lived a life of authenticity. He no longer sought admiration through deceit. Instead, he built his reputation on honesty, kindness, and genuine care for others. The villagers loved him not for his wealth, but for his heart, which now reflected the goodness he had hidden for so long. Message for viewers. Don't wear a mask to impress the world. Be genuine, for the truth has a beauty that lies can never achieve. The path of honesty may be difficult, but it leads to a life of peace and respect. Stay true to who you are and let your heart shine brighter than any facade.